All right, React 19.2 is officially here. And honestly, it's a huge update focused on one thing, making our lives as developers way, way easier. We're talking apps that run faster, state management that's safer, and a whole lot less boilerplate code. In this explainer, we're going to break down the biggest features that are absolutely going to change how you build with React.
So here's what we're diving into. First, we're going to tackle that classic headache, how to stop components from losing their state when they disappear. Then we'll check out a new hook that finally cleans up our side effects. After that, I'll show you how to get like X-ray vision into your app's performance. And to top it all off, we're going to ask the big one. Is this the end of boilerplate as we know it? Let's get into it. First up is a feature that I am personally so excited about. It's called the activity component, and it's here to solve one of the most common and frankly annoying frustrations in React, losing state.
You know the drill, right? You're typing a long message in a form that's in a sidebar, you close it for just a second to check something, and when you open it back up, poof, everything's gone. Or maybe you're watching a trailer, you navigate away, you come back, and it restarts from the very beginning. That happens because, traditionally, React just completely unmounts that component, destroying its state along with it. While the solution is just beautifully simple. The old way, we'd use some conditional logic to show or hide a component. The new way, you just wrap it in this activity component and toggle a mode prop between visible and hidden. It's such a tiny change in your code, but it makes a massive difference for the user experience. So how does this magic actually work? Well, in visible mode, it's just business as usual, nothing new there. But when you flip it to hidden mode, it doesn't unmount the component. It just hides it with display none. And here's the key. Because it's still mounted, all of its state, every use state hook, every user input, is perfectly preserved. Plus, for performance, it's smart enough to unmount effects, so it's not hogging resources in the background. And this opens up a really cool performance trick, pre-rendering. Just imagine you've got a bunch of tabs. You can wrap all the inactive tabs in an activity component, set their mode to hidden, and start fetching data for them ahead of time. The second the user clicks on a new tab, bam, the data's already there, no loading spinners, just pure instant navigation. Okay, but there is one little gotcha you need to watch out for. Since the component isn't actually unmounting, your effects won't clean themselves up automatically. So if you have a video playing inside an activity component, you have to remember to add a cleanup function to your effect to pause that video when the mode switches to hidden. It's a small thing, but it'll save you from some really sneaky bugs. All right, let's switch gears to our next big topic, which keeps building on this theme of a better developer experience. We're talking about a brand new hook called useEffectEvent, and it's designed to fix a problem with useEffect that has driven us all crazy at some point. The uEffect dependency array. We've all been there, right? You're writing your effect, and the linter is just screaming at you to add every single variable to that array, even when you just know it's going to cause your effect to rerun for no good reason. And that really gets to the core of the issue. You often need a value inside your effect, like the current UI theme, for example. But you don't want the effect to trigger every time the theme changes. You only want it to run when the actual dependency, like a connection ID, changes. Before this, you basically had to choose between unnecessary re-renders or just disabling the lint roll and hoping for the best. And that is exactly where useEffectEvent comes to the rescue. It's a new hook made specifically to pull that non-reactive, event-like logic out of your main effect. You can think of it like creating a super stable function that always sees the latest props in state, but because the function itself is stable, it doesn't need to go in the dependency array. Let's look at the code, because this makes it all click. Before, you'd have an effect that depends on both room ID and theme, so just toggling dark mode would cause a reconnect. Yikes. But now, with useEffectEvent, you pull that logic out into an unconnected event. Your useEffect hook now only depends on room ID, which is what you wanted all along. It's just cleaner, it's more correct, and it's way more performant. Okay, this next one is going to completely change how you hunt down performance issues. React 19.2 is giving us a whole new set of tools that are basically like getting an X-ray of your app's entire rendering process. And you want to know the best part? It's built right into the Chrome DevTools. You don't have to install the React DevTools extension or anything extra. It's just there for everyone right out of the box. So what do these tracks actually show you? Well, think of the scheduler track as reading React's mind. It shows you what it's working on. Is it a high-priority user click or a low-priority background update? This is huge for figuring out why your UI feels slow. Then you've got the components track, which is even more direct. It gives you a flame graph of the exact components that are rendering and for how long. It's the ultimate tool for finding those pesky bottlenecks with surgical precision. All right, we've saved probably the biggest, most talked about feature for last. This one targets a massive source of boilerplate code and mental overhead that we've all just kind of accepted as part of writing React. That's right, the feature we've been hearing whispers about for years is finally here. The React compiler is now stable and ready for production. And let me be clear, this isn't just another library, it's a fundamental shift in how we're going to write performant React code from now on. So, what does it actually do? Well, to put it simply, it automatically memoizes your code so you don't have to. The compiler is smart enough to look at your components, understand what's expensive, and apply optimizations to prevent unnecessary re-renders, all without you lifting a finger. Which, of course, leads us to the question that is on every single React developer's mind right now. Does this mean we can finally stop wrapping everything in use memo and use callback just to get good performance? Can we delete all that code? And the answer, straight from the React core team, is a huge resounding yes. With a new compiler, you can and you absolutely should remove your manual memoization hooks. The compiler has your back, it handles it for you, leaving you with code that's cleaner, simpler, and so much easier to read. So there you have it, with state that never gets lost, effects that are way cleaner, powerful new debugging tools, and a compiler that handles performance for you. React has taken a massive leap forward. The whole developer experience is just better. So the only question left is, what are you going to build with it?